So 2 nights ago, I was on Tubi and I saw for the first time Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag. I remember in the 90s when this came out, it came out in 1997. And it's Joe Pesci and David Spade, the only two notable names in here. So it's like a dark comedy where Joe Pesci plays a typical Joe Pesci character, a gangster, I guess you could say, who works for a bigger crime boss, and he has to deliver 8 severed heads to him to San Diego. I believe so. It's in San Diego. Um, and then he ends up on the plane with somebody who's like, husband, very mild mannered. He's a medical student, and so he's getting on the same plane, but he's supposed to meet his wife's parents, and the dad doesn't like him, and the mom's telling him to give him a chance. So there's kind of like a meet the parents kind of thing going, even though Meet the Parents came out later, but kind of a similar, seems kind of like a similar ordeal. Um, so I will say the only thing good about this movie was Joe Pesci. That I would say the only good writing in this was his character. Stuff like, "Hey, don't be fucking cute, asshole." Right? Like there's a line like that, and and then David Spades plays David Spades, and the chemistry between them, I don't know, it just didn't work for me. The medical student, the husband, who's also supposed to technically the co-star in this, aside from Joe Pesci, didn't like him at all. I thought he was a very cringe character, way too much of a sissy. And yeah, the movie progresses and he grows some balls. I fast forward through half this movie. It was only 90 minutes, which is, I believe, all movies should be 90 minutes, not a minute longer. I don't believe that we need 2 hours and 50 minutes, three and a half, 4 hour movie. It took me forever to watch the Snyder director's cut of Justice League. And even then it was like, and it was good. It was way, I agree with the majority of the fan base, it's way better. But didn't, the 4 hours felt like a bit much. It's like, okay, we're doing too much here. Um, so yeah, 90 minutes, but it felt longer to me. I felt like we get it. Their duffel bags accidentally got switched in the airport, and so Joe Pesci doesn't want to end up getting killed by his boss, so he needs to get the heads because he's supposed to deliver them by a certain time, and then he's having to deal with Spades and his goofy character or what have you, and then the medical student husband guy is supposed to, I don't remember his name. That's how much I really gave a shit about this movie. And so he's trying to hide it from his family because he doesn't want them to think that he's a murderer. And there's a couple like dream sequences. It gets a little silly, which I couldn't tell. That was one thing I didn't understand about this movie. I felt like it was very unfocused because I'm thinking, okay, is this supposed to be a dark comedy or is this supposed to be a silly comedy? Because it meshes between the two. And the humor didn't really get as dark as you think it would be, considering it's about 8 severed heads in a double bag. So, yeah, I fast forward the movie. It's like, can we wrap this up? So, to me, now, as I was watching that, I was under the impression that this film was trying to emulate Analyze This, which was Robert De Niro and Billy Crystal. But that didn't come out till 99. So maybe they saw Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag and thought, let's do a similar premise, but a much better story, and we'll hire much better screenwriters and hire a much better director with way better casting. So it's more of, so kind of Analyze This, kind of same thing. You take a similar concept, is you're taking someone like a Joe Pesci or Robert De Niro who was in Goodfellas, Casino, and all that. Give them kind of that mob boss, character, and then put a Saturday Night Live actor in it, but the chemistry between De Niro and Crystal are so much better. And Billy Crystal's a way better actor than David Spade. I like David Spade. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing on the guy, but outside of Joe Dirt, he's never really played anything other than David Spade. And even then, Joe Dirt there still is some David Spade isms. So there's not a whole lot you can do with that as far as having a character. Even though Billy Crystal, for the most part, will always be Billy Crystal, but him playing a therapist just worked. And his character was, even though he was a very simple, soon to be husband and father and professional therapist, it just worked. And not to mention, he wasn't a sissy. He was a very straightforward, he was apologetic when he needed to be, but he was also very, he didn't let you push him around. He was very straightforward. He went from being afraid of Robert De Niro's character to standing up to him, especially when he found out that De Niro's character had some emotional issues. He had some mental health issues. He had some past trauma. And just overall, it's a better film. So the only reason I even thought about watching Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag, and I remember in the '90s I heard all of the bad reviews, but I wanted to give it a chance. So I'm just saying, if you kind of like the idea of it being kind of like a satire comedy, where it's kind of like the organized crime or gangster films with our beloved actors like De Niro, or Pesci. If you're gonna pick one, man, just go with Analyze This. Way better film, and yeah, Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag. I'm sorry, Pesci. They put all it into Pesci. Like Joe Pesci was Joe Pesci, and but even then there are certain parts of it that felt kind of held back. So, but if you want to see Pesci in comedies, there's so many better comedies to see him in. Much better in like Home Alone 1 and 2. Obviously, his role in the Lethal Weapon franchise, much better. So that's another thing. Pesci is known for playing his criminal, organized crime gangster roles, but he has done more wholesome roles as well. So he's a more diverse actor than he gets credit for. Anyway, man, that's my rant review. Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag. Gave it a shot. That's all I got. It's skippable. Go watch Analyze This. It's much better.